It's Wednesday, January 7th. The community of Douglas, Ontario is mourning the loss of an historic tavern in their community after a massive fire earlier this week.
A dramatic scene in Westboro as a car chase ends with 5 arrests.
And I'm so excited to compete here.
And figure skaters are gathered in Gatineau as we wait to learn who will represent Canada in next month's Winter Olympics. Your Morning Ottawa starts right now.
Good morning, happy hump day. I'm Rosie Eden.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And it's so exciting when you see that little clip of the Winter Olympics, then you think the other Olympics is coming up, and
Right.
it's like right around the corner, and it's going to come up quick.
So exciting.
How does it feel for you, knowing like when the Olympic season kind of rides, you feel that kind of rush again?
I start smiling a lot. Like we were doing a radio recording and the news came in that Tim Hortons is going to be sponsoring directly sponsoring the national team, the Olympic team. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm so happy for them, right? I'm just thinking about all that excitement. It's so much fun.
So great. So much good sports to watch in the coming weeks ahead.
Yeah.
We'll get right to our news headlines. The community of Douglas is in mourning after a landmark building has been destroyed in a raging fire. The Douglas Trading Post, formerly the location of the popular Douglas Tavern, went up in flames Monday night and wasn't under control for hours. The Douglas fire chief, who is a member of the family that were former owners of the tavern, says that this one hurts.
I lost my dad in October, and we just lost another member of our family. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to put it into words. It's not mine anymore, but in part of me it always will be. And to have to make that phone call to Mom and tell her that it's gone. It's she hasn't been here yet, and I hope she doesn't come today. But it's a tough one.
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The owners say the building was insured, but don't anticipate the payout to cover the cost of the rebuild.
School buses have been canceled this morning in Eastern Ontario. The Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario says that school buses that cover the Upper Canada District School Board and the Catholic School Board of Eastern Ontario will not be running today, but schools will remain open. Buses are running in Ottawa, but delays can be expected. As we wait to learn what's next for Venezuela, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. Members of the Canadian-Cuban coalition say they are grateful to the American administration for arresting former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and are hopeful that the situation could lead to a democratic shift in their home country.
That regime needs to go. Like Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
Cuba relies heavily on Venezuelan oil, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common for the island nation.
A significant milestone for OC Transpo Light Rail. 1 year ago, the new Line 2 and 4 officially launched, and although it was more than 2 years behind schedule, the numbers show that passengers are taking the light rail.
Made all the right decisions, and for the first year of operation, we're right around that 98% service reliability, something our customers really deserve and something they expect. And so we've been really happy with the performance of the rail line, the trains.
Line 2 and has 11 stations from Bayview to Riverside South. Line 4 is the spur to the airport. Students at Carleton say that some of their commutes have been cut in half, and the train is more reliable and on schedule.
The buses are a lot less reliable. The train is really nice.
Take the train to go downtown or anywhere else I want to, and I find it's super convenient now.
In the first year, there were 4.7 million rides, averaging about 24,000 a day. OC Transpo says the success of the first year of Line 2 and 4 is largely because of lessons learned during the launch of the Confederation Line.
5 men are facing drug-related charges after a large-scale operation took place in Westboro. It happened near Richmond Road and Patricia Avenue around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Police had 5 men in their 20s arrested on drug-related charges and outstanding warrants. A car was also seized during the operation. Work is underway to clear the ice from the St. Lawrence Seaway, which has trapped some ships and delayed the seasonal closure. A stretch of the critical shipping route is already covered in ice, particularly around the locks. This is one of 23 ships currently stuck in the Seaway due to ice buildup. Yesterday, it made its way through the lock at Iroquois as it heads to Montreal. The Seaway was scheduled to close for the season on January 5th, but the cold December weather led to a large amount of ice buildup. Keeping the Seaway open in January is rare. It has only been done 9 times since 1959.
The Quebec Liberals are starting the year exactly as they started last year. They are looking for a new leader for their party.
This leadership campaign will be about bringing a stronger Quebec with a better economy, a transparent government, and public services you can actually rely on.
And the first candidate came forward, and it is a name familiar to anyone who followed last year's leadership race. Charles Milliard is trying again after he narrowly lost the previous Liberal leadership race to Pablo Rodriguez. The rapid downfall of Rodriguez was triggered by allegations of illegal financing and a clash with the parliamentary leader.
An Ottawa snowplow driver is facing charges after a crash with a small SUV in Ottawa's West End. It happened on Fernbank Road at Blackside Road Monday evening. Ottawa police say the driver of the snowplow was already under a lifetime driving ban and also had an outstanding warrant with the OPP.
A neighborhood project in Western Quebec is showing just how far Canadians will go for the love of hockey.
What we like about it, it's the same shape as a real Zamboni.
Neighbors Chris and Stefan in Mayo, Quebec built a homemade Zamboni to clean their backyard hockey rink. The project started with an old lawnmower machine and built up from there.
They say that it uses hot water to clean the ice, just like a real Zamboni. And I feel like as soon as people start seeing this, they're going to get some interest on, can you make me one for mine? Because look how nice that is.
That looks amazing. I could just sit here and watch it just go back and forth, cleaning the ice, and then just think about that fresh skate. Oh, that's so nice.
It looks like a nice shared drink as well.
Yeah.
So some lucky kids who get to enjoy that fresh ice. Nothing like it.
And what is it about that, right? Like that we just get so in tune with watching that, just clear the lines. I don't know what it is, why it's a calming feeling for us.
Mesmerizing, it's so true.
Just watching the clear the lines. Oh, and then if you miss a spot, whoa, whoa.
Go back.
Yeah, get back.
At my kids' skating lessons, they look forward to the Zamboni at the end, clearing the ice more than actually getting onto the ice. It's hilarious.
I don't get it.
Our forecast today, some relief on the way from all these cold days. Finally, not so bad out there this morning. We're sitting at -4. It does still feel closer to -9 this morning, but trust me, relief on the way this morning in terms of temperature. Still seeing some of that snow out there to start off your day. Similar in Kingston, sitting at -4, -5 in Brockville, -3 currently in Trenton, -5 in Montreal. Still dealing with that messy weather, so we're still dealing with some light snow out there this morning. We will continue to see these flurries right through until about 10 a.m. That's when we can actually start to see it shift to some drizzle. So around 10 a.m. is when most of the snow, the light snow, will clear out, and then we could see some flurries into the afternoon mixed in with some drizzle. So that's because temperatures will warm up. You can see that little pink band, so we could see some freezing drizzle late this morning, right through into your afternoon and evening hours. So just keep that in mind. Everything will then clear up into the overnight. Finally tomorrow, a day with some sunshine. We haven't seen a lot of sunshine over the last few days, so we will get to see some tomorrow. But then as we head towards the end of the work week, we are expecting some rain. So there is a freezing rain warning. This is for areas in Kingston and Belleville, so down along the 401. So if you're traveling out that way today, just keep that in mind. They have a freezing rain warning as they are expecting some freezing rain, freezing drizzle early this morning. Should end later on this morning. As we headed to our temperatures today. -2 is your daytime high. We'll still feel like -4. So yes, finally some relief on the way. Not going to be bitterly cold into the afternoon. A great day to get outside, play with all that fresh snow, or maybe check out the Rideau Canal Skateway. Similar temps throughout the region. -3 in the valley, 0 in Bancroft, 3 for Trenton, 0 as well over in Kingston, -1 along the Seaway for today, -3 out in the valley, -2 over in Montreal. Temperatures still fluctuating over the next few days, but some mild weather on the way. -2 for today, overnight dropping to -5. And yes, snow this morning, changing to freezing drizzle, then back to flurries this evening, clearing up overnight. Tomorrow, some sunshine on the way. Beautiful day, a high of 2 degrees, so very warm temps on the way for Thursday. Warming up even more for Friday. We are expecting rain Friday and through Saturday, and that's because temperatures above that freezing mark. Even next week, not so bad temperature-wise. We're going to be a little bit above average. Normal for this time of the year is around -6 degrees, and we'll be well above that Sunday and through Tuesday. On your roads this hour, here's a live look at your time saver traffic. Nothing major to report. Traffic is looking pretty decent this hour. Smooth sailing east to west. Now let's check out your TSN must-see moment.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday and 4. We head to oil country as the Predators were taking on the Oilers first period. It's Connor McDavid doing McDavid things. First, he dances around Ryan O'Reilly, then undresses UC Saros for the goal. One of his 3 goals on the night for the hat trick, the 14th of his career, all part of a 6-2 win for the Oilers as McDavid earns your must-see moment from Tuesday. And tonight on TSN, it's Tangerine Raptors basketball as they visit the Hornets. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1 and 4. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
McDavid does it again. Well, coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa.
And I'm so excited to compete here.
The champs lace up and fans wait to hear who will represent Canada in figure skating at the Winter Olympics. Before we get there, we're heading back outside through our Centennial Glass Skycam, and temperatures on the rise significantly, especially from what we've been expected to have over the last little while, but could get a little messy out there. Stay with us and happy Wednesday, everyone.
Welcome back. Here are the big stories we are following today on Your Morning Ottawa. The community of Douglas is in mourning after the former Douglas Tavern went up in flames Monday night. The owners say they are devastated. As the situation in Venezuela continues to unfold, Cubans in Ottawa are watching closely, wondering what's in store for their island country that relies so much on Venezuelan oil. School buses are canceled in Eastern Ontario. Buses are running in Ottawa, but delays can be expected. Now let's take a look at your forecast.
Well, Rosie, temperatures are going to pick up significantly throughout the day today. Still a little bit of snowfall early this morning, and then due to the temperatures rising, the chance for snowfall changes to some freezing drizzle. There are some freezing rain warnings in certain communities. Melissa will break that down, but temperatures on the rise. Taking a look at your roads this hour, nothing major to report. The highways are looking pretty clear, but again, due to the temperature change, we're starting to see a little bit of slushy conditions out there. Windshield washer fluid, a must throughout the day today. And again, the commute might just be a little bit slow this morning. Well, Canada's top figure skaters are in Gatineau this week for the 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships. It's all leading up to Sunday when Team Canada will announce which skaters will be competing at the Winter Olympics. Here's CTV's Peter Sperling.
There's excitement on the ice in Gatineau.
And I'm so excited to compete here.
Figure skating champion Leah Cho looking forward to competing at the 2026 Canadian National Skating Championships.
My favorite part of competing is showing everyone how much I love this sport, and it's just performing and jumping.
The event taking place this year at the Slush Puppy Center.
This is the biggest event of the year for us. You know, this is a junior and senior competition. 300 athletes from across the country competing in singles, pairs, ice dance, and synchronized skating.
Now, if you want to get up close to the action, there are several events every day this week, with many looking forward to Sunday when we find out who will represent Team Canada at this year's Winter Olympics.
Nationals is always a big deal, but every four just gets a little more attention.
We just appreciate seeing the figure skating in person.
For Kathy White, who drove from Toronto, attending is a tradition.
We've been coming to the Canadian National Figure Skating Championships every year since 1992.
I'll tell you, there's some awesome signatures on this.
Tom Ray not here to add autographs to his flag, but cheer on skaters.
You know, if we run into some, that'd be great. But no, it's not really that I'm trying to get more signatures. I want to wave it for them.
Goals and excitement for fans and athletes.
I think I did very well. This was my best skate of the season, so very good timing on the national stage.
I really hope I could see myself competing in the Olympics one day and also competing at Worlds and representing Canada.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Prime Minister Mark Carney says Governor General Mary Simon and Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand will visit Greenland in February. This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump renewed his calls for America to take over Greenland, a self-governing territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. Let's bring in Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA with more on this. Good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning. Well, I finally get to agree with something our Prime Minister is doing on this file, this Donald Trump file. I thought the reaction on Venezuela was a little too muted from the Prime Minister. And, you know, he's trying very hard not to upset Donald Trump, obviously. And I recognize it's a fine line to walk. But at least he did something yesterday. I think this is an important statement. It's a little on the subtle side, maybe, but sending our Governor General there and saying that Canada, in essence, stands by Denmark and that we have to recognize their independence, their territory, and it's a way of saying the U.S. can't just take it. But I think he still needs to be more forceful. You know, Rosie, I don't know who you guys are talking to, but I've been talking to in the last 24 hours a lot of really smart experts on the show, some of them off the air, who are very worried about Canada and what all these recent moves mean to our sovereignty and how far Donald Trump might be willing to go to actually make us that 51st or maybe now 52nd or 53rd state, that we're in his crosshairs. And we've seen through Venezuela and now these threats to Greenland that you don't have to be a narco-terrorist in order for Donald Trump to set his sights on you. He says he wants to have Greenland just because he needs it.
Yeah.
Well, we know he needs Canada, too, for our resources and for security and for the Arctic. So we got to start taking this guy seriously. And that begins with our Prime Minister taking it seriously and preparing this country to be ready to push back, because that's the only way you stop Donald Trump. You have to make the price too high for him to be willing to pay.
Yeah, it looks like Europe is also showing their support and putting their words and deeds behind Greenland, and now we are as well. But getting back to the response that our Prime Minister had to the Venezuela situation, you said that it was sort of muted, and I say it was measured. We have both M words to describe the response. Wow. I mean, when you're talking about...
Yeah, but I think you can have a combination of things. In the response to Greenland, you could be muted and subtle.
Yes.
But I think you also have to stand up very strongly for Canada at a moment like this and say, you know, we recognize that Greenland has a right to its independence from the United States. Our countries are not for sale. Yeah. And it's our job to defend the Arctic, and we're members of NATO. We've been doing that. We'll continue to do that. But we don't want to hear any discussions about our sovereignty and the U.S. president. I think that Canadians, you know, I guess my concern, Rosie, is so many really smart people, like I said, are worried about what could happen next. Yeah. And yet I looked at my text board yesterday and the response we got from the audience. There were a lot of stories they wanted to talk about. This is still not one of them. I think we're in a bit of denial about where this is headed. Donald Trump has put in writing a new national security policy, and he said it out loud, that says the United States is in charge of the Western Hemisphere and can use its power and influence to do whatever it wants. Why would we not believe him when he says it out loud?
Yeah, I believe that's what they're calling the Dunroe Doctrine. We'll
that's
get
right,
into
the
that.
old Monroe Doctrine with the Donald spin on it. And that's not something we should be laughing at.
No,
that's something we should be saying, okay, how do we make them think twice about Canada? And That's what our Prime Minister needs to prepare us for.
There you go. Listen, Bill, we're going to continue this conversation. I'll scoot upstairs in another hour or so, and we'll continue talking because we're out of time right now. You have yourself a great show.
You have a good day, too.
Thank you. Remember, you can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFR 8 weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street. We'll be right back.
I'm doing dry January. No, the best part about doing dry January is like telling everyone about it.
Today on Your Morning Ottawa, we are asking for your comments on January and New Year's resolutions. Did you decide to give up anything for the month? Let us know your thoughts. Email us at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
I love that. I already do dry January. Like, I already do dry all the time. I don't drink anymore. So for me, it's like I'm not giving up alcohol. And there's nothing really else that I was like, you know what, I'm going to give up this. I think it's been more for me about adding things back into my life as opposed to taking away. Like, I'm trying to do more reading in terms of books and being able to open a book and read. I read to my little ones every night, but it's not the same as, you know, mommy getting to read a book. So I'm more adding as opposed to subtracting. The only thing I could think about is like, maybe I should subtract chocolate, but you got to have something. You got to live a little,
let's not get crazy here now. Come on. You already have to subtract so much with some of the nutrition stuff. Leave chocolate in there.
I can't do coffee because I need to be alive in the morning at 3 a.m. So like that's not happening.
No, we can't do that.
I like that saying yes to things. It reminds me of Shonda Rhimes, that incredible writer, producer, TV writer. And she said, she wrote a book on the year of yes. Because she would always say no, 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 no. And then she said yes, 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 yes. So that is a good thing. Maybe we can change this New Year's resolution around. Instead of taking away, adding all those good things. I love that, Melissa.
Saying yes a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we'll be hearing from you later on in the show. We are asking, are you giving up anything for January? Send us your comments to yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
And coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, concerns about Canadian oil production as uncertainty remains in Venezuela. We'll hear from CTV's Scott Hurst coming up. We'll be right back.
I'm Rosie Eden.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Will Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And if you have not stepped outside yet, it's a little bit messy out there, but temperatures are on the rise. Take that as you will. If you're sick of the cold, but maybe you're enjoying the winter activities, it's a bit of half and half.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to stay messy throughout most of the day today. Full details coming up in a couple of minutes.
All right, looking forward to that. We're going to start with our news headlines. An Eastern Ontario community is grieving after the loss of a structure that once breathed much life into the town. The Douglas Trading Post, which was once the iconic Douglas Tavern, has been ravaged by fire, and the owners are devastated.
It was like watching somebody that you love die. It was a part of us.
The fire call came in on Monday evening. Firefighters battled the blaze for hours. There were no injuries, but the community is in mourning.
I looked out my window and I just seen flames coming out of that window. It scared me, and it was a total shock.
There was a line from smoke on the water that resonated with me. They burned down the gambling house and it died with an awful roar.
Douglas Tavern and Hotel was once the hub of the community, known for its...
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The owners say that the building was insured, but don't anticipate the payout will cover the cost of the rebuild.
School buses have been canceled this morning in Eastern Ontario. The Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario says that school buses that cover the Upper Canada District School Board and the Catholic School Board of Eastern Ontario will not be running today, but schools will remain open. Buses are running in Ottawa, but delays can be expected.
This year marks a significant milestone for OC Transpo. 1 year ago, LRT lines 2 and 4 were launched, expanding train service to the airport in Riverside South. And although it was more than 2 years behind schedule, the numbers show that passengers are taking the light rail. Line 2 has 11 stations from Bayview to Riverside South. Line 4 is the spur to the airport. And students at Carleton say that some of their commutes have been cut in half, and the train is more reliable and on schedule.
I live about 30 minutes away without traffic, so having the train has made the commute so much easier.
I really enjoyed it. It's really good transportation in my opinion.
In the first year, there were 4.7 million rides, averaging about 24,000 a day. OC Transpo says that the success of the first year of Line 2 and 4 is largely because of lessons learned during the launch of the Confederation line.
As we wait to learn what's next for Venezuela, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. Members of the Cuban-Canadian coalition say they are grateful to the American administration for arresting former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and are hopeful that the situation could lead to a democratic shift in their home country.
That regime needs to go. Like Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
Cuba relies heavily on Venezuelan oil, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common for the island nation. 5 men are facing drug-related charges after a large-scale operation took place in Westboro. It happened near Richmond Road and Patricia Avenue around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Police had 5 men in their 20s arrested on drug-related charges and outstanding warrants. A car was also seized during the operation.
A class action lawsuit against Ticketmaster in Quebec can go ahead. Quebec's Superior Court approved the lawsuit, which accuses Ticketmaster of charging abusive service fees. The lawsuit argues these fees are a violation of Quebec's Consumer Protection Act and Civil Code. That's because the fees are based on ticket prices, not on the cost of the service being provided. If the suit is successful, Ticketmaster may have to pay out all affected customers.
Work is underway to clear the ice from the St. Lawrence Seaway, which has trapped some ships and delayed the seasonal closure. A stretch of the critical shipping route is already covered in ice, particularly around the locks. This is one of 23 ships currently stuck in the Seaway due to ice buildup. Yesterday, it made its way through the lock at Iroquois as it heads to Montreal. The Seaway was scheduled to close for the season on January 5th, but the cold December weather led to a large amount of ice buildup. Keeping the Seaway open into January is rare. It has only been done 9 times since 1959.
An Ottawa snowplow driver is facing charges after a crash with a small SUV in Ottawa's West End. It happened on Fernbank Road at Blackside Road Monday evening. Ottawa police say that the driver of the snowplow was already under a lifetime driving ban and also had an outstanding warrant with the OPP.
The dazzling lights that help bring holiday magic to the capital are about to be turned off until next winter.
Yes, winter lights across Canada helps to illuminate some of the most prominent areas in the National Capital Region. Around 300,000 lights are installed at monuments like the National War Memorial Confederation Park, the Supreme Court of Canada, and the Jacques Cartier Park.
According to the NCC, you can enjoy the festive display until Friday.
Okay, so a couple days left.
Yes, it is beautiful. I do love that.
It does, absolutely, especially when we take our sky cams and you can see the lights in it. It does look absolutely picturesque and beautiful, especially with a fresh snowfall.
Yes, like today.
Absolutely. More snow on the way. We saw some last night in the overnight, and we do have a little bit more this morning.
All right.
Still some flurries and some light snow out there this morning. It will change to flurries and even some freezing drizzle possible this afternoon. Then after that, it will be a mild week and wet. We have some wet weather on the way. Temps this morning, relief in terms of temperatures. It's not bitter cold outside. We are sitting at -4. It does feel closer to -9 with that wind chill. So relief this morning across the region. -5 currently in Montreal, -4 for Kingston, -5 in Brockville, -3 down in Trenton. So we are still dealing with some messy weather, especially areas along the 401 near Belleville, Kingston, where you actually do have a freezing rain warning this morning. For us here in the city of Ottawa, we're expecting some light snow till about 10 o'clock this morning. Then it should shift. We could see some light flurries still into the afternoon or even some freezing drizzle. You'll see this pink band pop up later on this afternoon. It looks like sometime around lunchtime when we could see a little bit of freezing drizzle in the forecast. So it could make roads slippery even on your drive home later on today. So keep that in mind. We do have some messy weather this morning, kind of continuing into the afternoon. And then after that, as we head towards the end of the work week, yes, we do have rain on the way, and that's because it will be quite mild, especially as we head into Friday and even into the weekend. Is looking nice and warm this weekend. -2 is our daytime high today, so a little bit above seasonal. We're going to see warmer weather for the next week. 0 in Bancroft, 3 degrees in Trenton, 0 as well in Kingston, -1 along the Seaway, -3 in the Valley, -2 over in Mont Tremblant. So temps really fluctuating, but more on the mild side. It's going to be mild over the next 7 days. -2 for today, -5 is the overnight low, and those flurries will clear up overnight tonight. Sunshine for tomorrow. We haven't seen a lot of sun over the last few days, so it'll be nice to see sunny skies. 2 degrees is the daytime high. Very mild weather. Not great conditions for the Rideau Canal Skateway, of course, or for our ski hills. However, we will have some colder conditions in through next week. 5 degrees for Friday, so that's why we're expecting some rain similar on Saturday with a high of 1. Then going back down below that freezing point, but still above seasonal and still a little bit warmer than we're normally sitting for this time of the year. -2 on Sunday, -4 on Monday.
Weather brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
Still a collision-free drive-in. Volume starting to build slightly. It's a little bit heavy between Terry Fox and Moody if you're heading 417 eastbound. 417 westbound, light backups between Parkdale and Carling.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers, 1-800-JUSTICE.
Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, CTV's Scott Hurst joins us next to discuss the latest as uncertainty continues over the situation in Venezuela. That's just ahead. Here's a live look through our Skycam. There's a beautiful festive light still up until Friday. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back. Here are the big stories today happening on Your Morning Ottawa. The community of Douglas is in mourning after the former Douglas Tavern went up in flames Monday night. The owners say they are devastated. As the situation in Venezuela continues to unfold, Cubans in Ottawa are watching closely, wondering what's in store for their island country that relies so much on Venezuelan oil. School buses are canceled in Eastern Ontario. Buses are running in Ottawa, but delays can be expected.
Messy weather continuing this morning. We're still seeing some light snow out there to start things off. We will see that snow until about 10 a.m. Then into the afternoon, flurries possible today, as well as some freezing drizzle. So we could see some freezing drizzle, especially later on this afternoon, making roads slippery even on your drive home. Mild conditions today, a daytime high of -2. We'll still feel more like -4 with that wind chill this afternoon. Very mild Thursday and through Friday, and finally a little bit of sunshine throughout the end of the work week. Mix of sun and cloud for tomorrow, a high of 2 degrees. Warmer on Friday with a high of 5. We are expecting rain. On your roads this morning, still collision-free, which is great news. Volume starting to build in the usual slowdown spots if you're heading eastbound on the 417, starting to see it Richmond and through Pinecrest. Also a little bit heavier just past the split in through downtown.
There are concerns about how the uncertainty in Venezuela will impact the Canadian oil market. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre is urging Prime Minister Mark Carney to immediately approve a pipeline to the Pacific coast. Let's bring in CTV's Scott Hurst with the latest on the situation. Good morning to you, Scott.
Good morning, Will.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. I want to start off by talking about the impacts of the upheaval in Venezuela on the oil industry, because they become a top issue in the days following Maduro's capture. What could the impacts be for the industry right here in Canada?
Well, the Prime Minister is under increased pressure to ensure that Canada's oil industry remains competitive in the future in the wake of the dramatic U.S. operation in Venezuela. This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that Venezuela will be providing some 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S., and he's also planning to meet with top American oil executives later this week to discuss plans to open more access to Venezuela's vast but struggling oil industry. By contrast, as it stands right now, Canada supplies about 4 million barrels a day of oil to the U.S., but it is clear Donald Trump wants access to Venezuela's vast oil reserves, estimated at about 17% of the world's total. Canada's Prime Minister is signaling he's not worried about U.S. plans for Venezuelan oil or the possibility that it'll displace Canada's offering on the U.S. market. Mark Carney saying our energy sector will be competitive and that his government is working to expand domestic access to new overseas markets. So experts say there's certainly the potential for a medium to long-term impact on Canada's oil industry, but argue Canada is still a much more favorable market to do business. However, many say this should give greater urgency, Will, to finding new markets for Canadian oil.
Yeah, Scott, so many different angles from the capture of the Venezuelan president, but I want to turn to the continued reaction from people with direct ties from Venezuela. What have we been hearing from them?
Yeah, of course, we are focusing a lot on the economic impact and what it means specifically for Canada and the oil industry, but there are, of course, the vast amount of personal stories. Venezuelans here in Canada are continuing to react to the dramatic ouster of Nicolas Maduro, and CTV News spoke with the woman who was forced to flee the Maduro regime. Her name is Relenis Tovar. She was once a judge in Venezuela, and she fled to Canada with her daughter and husband. In 2017, she came to Toronto claiming refugee status. While the actions in Venezuela have been criticized by allies and adversaries, Tovar says she's celebrating the removal of a dictator she describes as evil. In the meantime, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister is saying that she's been speaking with her international counterparts, including Secretary of State for the U.S. Marco Rubio, and that Canada's focus right now is supporting the democratic will of the Venezuelan people, along with regional and hemispheric stability, Will.
Yeah, a story that will continue to unfold, but we really appreciate you giving us some direction at this time, Scott. Have a great day.
Thanks, Will. You too.
Okay, we threw out a question to you earlier today. Here we are in January. You know that thing that we like to do, set those New Year's resolutions, usually taking something out. What have you stuck to, and are you giving anything up? And so we asked that question to you, and here's what some of you had to say.
Yeah, Darlene says, I'm giving up negativity. Hey, hear, hear.
Yes.
2025 was a year fraught with many challenges that I found myself getting ground down by it all. This year, I'm trying to find the light in all the darkness.
Oh, man.
So far, so good.
Darlene, yes.
I do love that, Darlene.
Nice. That is wonderful. That's it, too. Yeah, you know, embrace the light.
I hear that last year was the year of the snake. So we were shedding, and a lot of, it was a hard year for a lot of people, myself included.
Yeah.
And then this year's the year of the horse, where we're going to welcome good things in. So if last year was a bad year for you, apparently this is a good year for you. So I'm sticking to that.
Put out the good vibes
philosophy.
out there. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's the question we're asking you today. Are you giving up anything for the month of January? Send us your comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
And coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, the X-Men return in the newest trailer for Avengers, Doomsday. That story and more in Your Morning Fix just after the break. Here's a live look at our Skycam on George Street this morning, and we are expecting a little bit of snow this morning. Could see some freezing drizzle into the afternoon, so messy weather on the way, but mild with a high of -2. It's time now for your morning fix, and in entertainment, the X-Men are officially back.
The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes?
A third trailer for Avengers Doomsday is now available online. The film features Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, and James Marsden, who thrilled fans with the X-Men trilogy more than 20 years ago. This time, they will cross paths with the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and others from the Marvel Universe.
I think this will get a lot of people talking on both ends of the spectrum, right? Who are like, oh, I can't wait. And I'm like, no, you can't put that in there.
Yeah.
Love to see the online universes grow.
And people will be watching for cameos. That's what always happens. People pop in and, oh, there he is. There he is. So the Marvel Universe continues to expand.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, an owl that got tangled in a fishing line in Nanaimo, BC is now free thanks to some help from some local fishermen. When they found the bird, it was perched on a branch from a downed tree just off the shoreline and needing rescuing.
He didn't pull back, and he didn't try to fly or anything in the slightest. And then when I started to untangle him, he didn't bite, he didn't resist. There was like absolutely no fear in the slightest. It was honestly as comfortable as you're petting your cat or your dog.
That is Mike Hay. He and his brother and nephew were fishing at Colliery Park. Dam Park when they stumbled upon the owl, and when it didn't fly away, the trio got closer and saw that it was actually caught up on the fishing line. So they did try to get a hold of conservation for advice, but when they got no response, they decided to rescue it themselves. And he says the owl stayed on the branch once it was free before flying off, probably as a little thank you. Right? Some good Samaritans.
It's so nice too, right? When you see that, like those moments of animals of pausing, given the look from the owl, being like, thank you for helping me out.
Yeah.
We'll hang up a little bit and then I will go on my way.
I love that. Well, 2026 got off to an exciting start for a team of orca researchers in BC. The group had their first encounter with a unique group of killer whales on New Year's Day. So observers spotted 7 big killer whales in the waters around Victoria late last week, including a bull and young adults. The Centre for Whale Research published these photos on Monday, along with details about the creatures and their behavior. Although they virtually looked identical, transient orcas eat other mammals like seals, unlike resident orcas that eat only salmon. I didn't realize there was such different species of orcas that all look the same but just have different behaviors.
I didn't either as a kid too, watching Free Willy, because to me that's the best movie of all time at the time. And then as you get older, you realize killer whales, their name is there for a reason.
Right, yes, absolutely.
I would love to see one in the wild.
Oh, yeah, but be on a very big, safe boat.
Yes,
Not in a little rubber dinghy or a kayak. Or a surfboard, like you see some people, right?
No, thanks.
Yeah, they're not the nicest sometimes. That would be terrifying if you actually saw it up close where you are
like
just
a
very
paddleboard.
vulnerable. Yeah.
You see videos all the time of them like liking to play with their prey too, like little seals who get caught in the middle, and the orcas are just toying with it. And gosh, nature is fascinating, absolutely.
It really is. All right, here's a look at our Centennial Glass Skycam, and we're taking a look at what we can expect coming up on the show. We're checking in on the Ottawa Senators, their season at the halfway point, with Steve Lloyd from TSN 1200. Plus, there are some new rules in effect on carbon monoxide detectors and setting goals that will stick. Here we are in January. We'll be talking about that. That's coming up just after the break. Now we're going to take a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam, and I just think it just looks gorgeous out there. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back.
The most important part of any journey is to arrive safely. Hi, I'm Patricia Bowl.
And I'm Stefan Keys from CTV. Distracted or impaired driving can have devastating consequences.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94.
Always plan for a designated driver, and please keep your phone down.
Everyone can help keep communities safe.
Drive safe. Brought to you by the Ottawa Safety Council. For more information on road safety programs and services, visit ottawasafetycouncil.ca.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
It's Wednesday, January 7th.
I lost my dad in October, and we just lost another member of our family. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to put it into words.
The community of Douglas mourns the loss of a historic tavern after a massive fire earlier this week.
And a dramatic scene in Westboro after a police chase resulted in 5 arrests Tuesday afternoon.
Dusa in the middle of the ice. Here's Shabbat with room on his back end towards the middle. Score!
And with the Ottawa Senators season at the halfway point, we check in on how the team is faring this year. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning. morning. Thanks so much for starting your day with us. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Will Aiello.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Melissa Lamb.
And I'm looking forward to your talk right after we do a little bit of news headlines, talking with Steve Lloyd from TSN 1200.
That's right.
See if the Sens are in a position where can we work our way back up to a playoff spot.
I want to know our chances of getting into the playoffs this year. Of course, last year was so fun.
Yeah.
With them in the playoffs, we kind of want to relive those moments again this year. So fingers crossed, we have some good news for Sens fans.
And it doesn't look as bad as when you look at the leaderboard, because the race is a little bit tighter, but more details on that coming up. Starting with our news headlines, the community of Douglas is in mourning after a landmark building has been destroyed in a raging fire. The Douglas Trading Post, formerly the location of the popular Douglas Tavern, went up in flames Monday evening and wasn't under control for hours. The Douglas fire chief, who is a member of the family that were former owners of the tavern, says that this one hurts.
I lost my dad in October, and we just lost another member of our family. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to put it into words. It's not mine anymore, but in part of me it always will be. And to have to make that phone call to Mum and tell her that it's gone. It's she hasn't been here yet, and I hope she doesn't come today. But it's a tough one.
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The owners say that the building was insured, but don't anticipate the payout to cover the cost of the rebuild.
School buses have been canceled this morning in Eastern Ontario. The Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario says that school buses that cover the Upper Canada District School Board and the Catholic School Board of Eastern Ontario will not be running today, but schools will remain open. Buses are running in Ottawa, but delays can be expected. In international news, as we wait to learn what's next for Venezuela, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. Members of the Cuban-Canadian coalition say they are grateful to the American administration for arresting former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and are hopeful that the situation could lead to a democratic shift in their home country.
That regime needs to go. Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
Cuba relies heavily on Venezuelan oil, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common for the island nation.
A significant milestone for OC Transpo, this light rail. 1 year ago, the new Line 2 and 4 officially launched, and although it was more than 2 years behind schedule, the numbers show that the passengers are taking it.
Made all the right decisions, and for the first year of operation, we're right around that 98% service reliability, something our customers really deserve and something they expect. And so we've been really happy with the performance of the rail line, the trains.
Line 2 has 11 stations from Bayview to Riverside South, and then Line 4 is the spur to the airport. Students at Carleton say some of their commutes have been cut in half, and the train is more reliable and on schedule.
The buses are a lot less reliable. The train is really nice.
Take the train to go downtown or anywhere else I want to, and I find it's super convenient now.
In the first year, there were 4.7 million rides, averaging at about 24,000 a day. OC Transpo says the success of the first year of Line 2 and 4 is largely because of lessons learned during the launch of the Confederation line.
5 men are facing drug-related charges after a large-scale operation took place in Westboro. It happened near Richmond Road and Patricia Avenue around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Police had 5 men in their 20s arrested on drug-related charges and outstanding warrants. A car was also seized during the operation.
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays introduced fans to their newest player.
I am very happy to join Blue Jays. I will work hard every day.
I bet he will. Japanese slugger Kazuma Okamoto signed a 4-year, $60 million deal with the Jays.
Yeah, the acquisition is part of Toronto's offseason bid to get back to the World Series. A lot of Blue Jays fans, I think, very happy about this move. And again, you know, when you have that season where we went right to the final game, you really hope that we can get into a similar position to get back there. So this is a good step in that direction.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to get to our weather picture of the day, and we have this in from Ken of the Ottawa River. What do you think about that, Rosie?
That's beautiful. Oh, yeah, it's a little moody. Love the composition, the tree to the side, a little bit of snow picking up with the wind. Beautiful. Love it.
Weather picture brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating, just box me up.
And of course, you can be like Ken. Send us your pictures and you can see it right here on the show. Just send us those photos, weather shots at ctv.ca, and we would love to highlight it on air. Melissa, how are the conditions looking? Because finally a warm stint begins.
That's right. We're seeing some warm conditions, but messy conditions to start your morning off. Still seeing a little bit of that snow, so we could still see some light snow this morning over the next few hours as we wait for this system to clear up. Temperatures, though, not so bad. -4 right now does feel closer to -9, and similar temps throughout the region. Still seeing some lingering flurries out there this morning, some light snow possible. Flurries right through into the late part of your morning, early afternoon. Then we could see actually some freezing drizzle later on today. So be prepared for some freezing drizzle, especially late this afternoon and throughout your drive home later on this evening. Flurries continue into overnight and right through into your day tomorrow. We will finally get to see some sunshine. And as you can see, temperatures very mild today, and over the next few days, we're in store for a bit of a mild spell on the way. A high of -2 for today, so we are expecting cloudier conditions, and again, that messy weather on the way throughout the day ahead. Overnight dropping to -5. Into your day tomorrow, 2 degrees is the daytime high. Lots of sunshine, so finally a day we will get to see some sunshine on the way into your day tomorrow. We are expecting sunny skies, and then Friday we are expecting rain, so it's going to be a little bit wet on the way as we head into the day on Friday. Wet conditions, but then into the weekend still mild and a little bit above seasonal.
7-day weather forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business.
And here's a look at your drive-in, seeing some messy conditions on your road, so just keep that in mind. Traffic is very heavy right now if you are heading in. Eastbound lanes on the 417, very slow from Richmond and through Pinecrest this morning. Making your way into downtown, if you're heading in the opposite direction, starting to see volume build at the split right through past Saint Laurent and through the downtown core. Well, expectations were high for the Ottawa Senators at the beginning of the year. However, it's not looking so great right now. So we have called in our friends from TSN 1200. We have Steve Lloyd here this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, it's the halfway point for the Sens. Last year was such a great year with them making the playoffs. How are we looking so far this year at midway point?
Complicated.
Okay.
All right. The team is better, you believe it or not.
Really?
Like with the way they play.
Right.
And I know fans don't want to hear that. And listen, it gets tired. The only thing that matters is where you are in the standings. We understand that. But this is the best team in the entire league in expected goals against. So that means they play the best defensively of anybody in the league.
Okay.
They have the worst goaltending in the league.
Oh.
That's quite the juxtaposition. And that's what's going on with the Senators right now. Linus Ullmark is away from the team for personal reasons. He was in the rink the other night watching the game, but he is not available right now. And he wasn't playing well anyway. He was having a bad year. Levi Marilainen, same thing. Matt Sogard's been called up. They are trying to figure out in goal. That's the number one thing with a bullet with the Ottawa Senators. It's the goaltending right now.
The goaltending seems to be the big issue. We all want to know, do we still have a chance at squeaking into the playoffs somehow?
Oh, absolutely. It's only the halfway point of the season. Things can turn around in that way. And if you're looking for the optimism, you hang your hat on how well the team plays defensively. That's pretty consistent with this group. They don't have many bad games. You're thinking, they didn't give themselves a chance tonight. They usually give themselves a chance to win a hockey game. They usually outplay the opposition. They just don't get it across the finish line enough. But there's half a season left. They're not dead yet.
So let's talk about some positives we could draw. It seems like they're a good team. That's one positive thing.
The way that they play, now, you need a little more finish, obviously, but you come back to the goaltending. It's oversimplifying, but it's not. The numbers say so. The eye test says so. All of it. The other element of their game, their penalty kill is terrible. They're the second worst penalty killing team in the league as well. So if you're looking at another area that is just not nearly good enough, that would be the area.
And so what can they do in terms of their goaltending? We know that Ullmark is away. We don't know when he's going to come back, or does he have any sort of timeline that we're aware of?
We don't. It's a personal reason. You got to respect his privacy. He's away from the team right now. What do they do? Is there a soft trade to be made out there? You're not going to get somebody else's number one goaltender. Is there another veteran somewhere that is in a secondary or tertiary role with another organization just to change the mix. I would guess that Steve Staios is looking at something like that. Other than that, it's got to come internally. Marilyn has got to be better. Matt Sogard's up. Maybe he's going to play either tonight or tomorrow in Colorado. They're in Utah tonight, and they're hoping. And maybe Allmark comes back soon. Usually, it's got to be internal. I'm sure that they're looking though.
Okay. And when we look at the standings, even though they're kind of at the bottom, it's still so tight within that race that it's kind of a little misleading.
This is wild.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this in January, especially in the Eastern Conference in the NHL, where, like, if you don't like where you're in the standings, just wait 5 days.
Right.
If you win a couple of games, all of a sudden the optimism's back. You lose a couple, you're dead last. But it is so tight. It's so condensed. And that's why when you think about trying to make any moves, because we have the Olympic break coming up just at the end of the month, right? There's not many teams in the league have, put the white flag up yet. Everybody feels that they still have a chance.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We truly appreciate it. And as we heard, Sens fans, there is still a chance that we could make it to the playoffs this season. Still lots of hockey to be played. Will.
Hope is a dangerous word, but many of us having it for our pesky Ottawa Senators. Well, coming up next on Your Morning Ottawa, there are some changes you need to know about when it comes to the rules around carbon monoxide detectors in your home. We talked about it last year, but now it is officially in place. We'll have some more details coming up with Ottawa Fire just after the break. There she is. Hi, Leanne, standing by in the Lazy Boy Lounge, enjoying a nice cozy minute before we get to the serious business. Stay with us, everyone. Taking a peek outside through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, and warmer temperatures on the way on your Wednesday. It is 7-11. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Here are the big stories happening today on Your Morning Ottawa. The community of Douglas is in mourning after the former Douglas Tavern went up in flames Monday night. The owners say they are devastated. As the situation in Venezuela continues to unfold, Cubans in Ottawa are watching closely, wondering what's in store for their island country that relies so much on Venezuelan oil. And the city marks 1 year of the launch of LRT Lines 2 and 4, expanding train service to the airport and Riverside South. Now let's take a look at the forecast.
Still some messy weather on the way this morning, even though temperatures are much milder this morning. We're sitting at -4, feels closer to -9. -2 is your daytime high today. Will feel closer to -4. Still some snow possible this morning, changing to flurries late this morning. Then we could see some drizzle into the afternoon. That light snow drizzle combination will continue into the overnight. Temps falling tonight all the way to -5. On your drive in this morning, here's a live look at your time saver traffic. And again, still seeing very heavy volume out there on your roads this morning. We're seeing heavy volume if you are heading eastbound on the 417, making your way in through downtown. It is heavy. There was a car in the ditch 417 near Boundary Road, but it has been cleared. That's in the westbound lanes. Right now, just still very heavy. Greenbank and through Maitland. Light backups on the 170 on the 417 westbound between Boundary Road and Nicholas. Congestion 174 westbound between Orleans and Montreal Road. And Your Morning Ottawa on TSN 1200 want to give you the ultimate Ottawa Black Bears team experience. Your youth squad could be there for the Winter Games night on February 7th. It's a game celebrating minor sports and lacrosse fun, and one lucky youth team will score tickets for their whole roster. Submit your team on our contest page at ctvottawa.ca. Now let's check out your TSN Must-See Moment.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday and 4. We head to oil country as the Predators were taking on the Oilers first period. It's Connor McDavid doing McDavid things. First, he dances around Ryan O'Reilly, then undresses UC Saros for the goal. One of his 3 goals on the night for the hat trick, the 14th of his career, all part of a 6-2 win for the Oilers as McDavid earns your must-see moment from Tuesday. And tonight on TSN, it's Tangerine Raptors basketball as they visit the Hornets. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1 and 4. That's all from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
All right, as of January 1st, new rules and regulations have come in that we want you to be aware of. Leanne from Ottawa Fire Prevention joins us this morning to talk about that. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you, as always, for having me.
Of course. I know that we talked about it a little bit last year, but again, with the holiday season, we want to make sure that everyone is aware because new rules and regulations have started as of now.
Yes, the new rules and regulations came into effect January 1st, and they're put in place right now so that we can give an increased protection to carbon monoxide, because a lot of people forget that it is odorless, colorless, tasteless, and we call it the silent killer. So the more protection you have for these devices, the better off you can be. So the changes came into place not only for single-family homes, though, but also for multi-unit residential, such as condominium buildings and high-rise buildings as well. So in your home, now you have to have one on every floor of your home and outside of where you're sleeping. And in your condominium building or high-rise building, you need to know that if there's any way that carbon monoxide can enter your unit, either from a fuel-burning piece of equipment, from the service room of the building, from the garage, or simply from the heating and ventilation system of the building, your unit is required to have one.
And that's really important to know, right? Because whether like you're living alone in a single-family home or potentially you're a landlord or you're a tenant, you need to know about these rules and regulations. So is it the landlords right now, they have to make sure that we have these on each floor?
Absolutely. So if you rent your property, whether it's single-family home or a unit within an apartment building, it's your landlord's responsibility to ensure that these items are in place. If you own your home, it is your responsibility.
Okay. And, you know, I'm sure that you absolutely love this change because you know, it's an expense, but it is a small expense for the potential of what it could cause if you don't have them. Absolutely. How happy are you to see this change being made?
I am ecstatic to see this change. I think it's a long overdue change that's been needed into the fire code, and I was extremely happy when I saw it. Personally, I've always already had them on every floor of my home since I have natural gas appliances. So now that it is something that we can fully enforce, just makes me feel that much better about protecting the province of Ontario and especially the city of Ottawa.
Like peace of mind too, right? Like just having them available so you don't have to think about it or to leave something on or is this one working? If you have it in each location, you just get a little bit more at ease. So you wanted to go through something with us today.
So this is just a simple placard showing that if you have any of these types of items within your home, so fuel burning appliance, gas stove, hot water tank, furnace, or even if your garage is simply attached to your home, you're required to have these devices, again, as I said, on every floor of the home and outside of where you sleep. Now, the important thing to know, too, is that, no, you don't have to go in and let's say you just put in brand new smoke alarms in your home. You don't have to go in and change them all out to being the dual. You can get ones that simply plug in and they will do the same factor. So carbon, it can be either high or low. People tend to get confused and think your carbon monoxide alarm needs to be way down on the ground, but it doesn't. Carbon monoxide is relatively the same density as regular air, so it will actually mix and travel freely throughout your home. So I always recommend if you're getting due to replace your smoke alarms in your home, just buy a combination one. That way you're replacing one device, and every 10 years, you just have to remember that one device as opposed to two separate ones.
It is really nice, right? Don't get two, get the 2-in-1. Again, one purchase every 10 years or so, exactly. I think is well worth it. So you notice some of those common mistakes that you were talking about earlier. Is there anything else people that you've seen that have been doing that's like, oh, that's not the way to do this?
Yeah, so a lot of the common mistakes we do see tend not to necessarily be towards the alarms, except for the fact that people forget to test them and just plug them in and think that they can just leave it and you're good to go. No, you need to test them regularly to ensure that they're still working as they're supposed to. I do find that sometimes if you have the plug-ins, people will knock it off and forget to plug it back in, things like that. Just making sure that they're in, but also there's simple home maintenance that people tend to forget as well that will help protect you. So especially right now with all of the snow, you want to make sure that all of your vents are uncovered, because if they're covered, the air doesn't have the chance to escape, and that will have the carbon monoxide build back up into your home, causing the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning throughout the home. It's always a good idea to have your appliances serviced, especially the furnace and the hot water tank, annually, just to make sure that they're working. And please, I know that it gets cold and everybody wants to warm their car up, but simply opening the garage door is not enough. Pull the car out and let it warm up outside.
Yeah, some great tips, especially with the new rules and regulations happening as of January 1st. Leanne, we always appreciate your time, especially right now.
Absolutely, thank you.
Of course. Rosie, over to you. Oh.
Transport Canada has launched an investigation into a type of boat called a Sea-Doo switch after CTV News reported on the vessel's capsizing last year. There's now a safety recall in this country, and lawsuits are underway in the U.S. following deaths and injuries. Here's CTV's Pat Foran with more.
The Sea-Doo switch has the power of a Sea-Doo and the seating arrangement of a pontoon boat. Marcus Hurl told CTV News when he was using his with his grandchildren, it started to take on water.
It was like a scoop that was scooping up water into the boat.
Lori and Clyde Rowan said a similar incident happened to them with their Sea-Doo switch.
It just flipped us right over. All 7 of us were in the water.
Paul and Sue DeCucci said their Sea-Doo switch almost sank twice.
Just take the boat back and you work on whatever you need to work on to make this thing seaworthy, because I don't trust it.
This week, Transport Canada updated its website with a safety recall involving the boat, but in a statement said the recall published on the Health Canada website is the same recall issued by BRP. Transport Canada continues to work with the U.S. Coast Guard and BRP to assess whether any further actions are required to address the identified safety risk. In Maine, a law firm is filing a lawsuit against BRP, Bombardier Recreational Products, after 3 people died when a Sea-Doo switch flipped over in August.
The boat started to take on water in the front and then capsized completely, and 3 of the women on the boat were trapped underneath the boat and drowned before anyone could rescue them.
The law firm contends even with a safety recall, the boat is not safe to use.
Obviously, the family deserves compensation. 3 people are dead. They need to change the design of the boat.
Bombardier said in the safety recall, overloading the front of the boat could result in serious injury or death. It also released a safety video.
It may result in the boat nosediving, leading to capsizing.
CTV News reached out to Ontario Sea-Doo switch owners who say they still want refunds for their boats.
We want the full refund from Bombardier.
People have been hurt. People have died. Why would they not just say take them off the market?
BRP told CTV News our riders' safety is our top priority, and we are committed to providing products that are safe and in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Coming up next, we are paging Dr. Paul to discuss the potential health benefits of eating together as a family. We'll learn more just ahead. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street.
The most important part of any journey is to arrive safely. Hi, I'm Patricia Bowl.
And I'm Stefan Keys from CTV. Distracted or impaired driving can have devastating consequences.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94.
Always plan for a designated driver, and please keep your phone down.
Everyone can help keep communities safe.
Drive safe. Brought to you by the Ottawa Safety Council. For more information on road safety programs and services, visit ottawasafetycouncil.ca.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Good morning, come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And I love that your discussion coming up with Dr. Paul is going to be about eating with the family. Because I feel like it's so easy to kind of just, get on the couch, watch TV, or do something. I mean, maybe kick it old school, where everyone actually sits at the dinner table, and there could be benefits of that.
My kids love it. We get to eat all together. They call it our fancy dinners.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about some fancy dinners with Dr. Paul. That's coming up in just a few minutes. But first off, we're going to take a look at your top stories.
Yeah, an Eastern Ontario community is grieving after the loss of a structure that once breathed much life into the town. The Douglas Trading Post, which was once the iconic Douglas Tavern, has been ravaged by fire, and the owners say that they're devastated.
It was like watching somebody that you love die. It was a part of us.
The fire call came in Monday evening. The firefighters battled the blaze for hours. There were no injuries, but the community is in mourning.
I looked out my window and I just seen flames coming out of that window. It scared me, and it was a total shock.
There was a line from smoke on the water that resonated with me. They burned down the gambling house and it died with an awful roar.
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The owners say that the building was insured, but don't anticipate the payout will cover the cost of the rebuild.
School buses have been canceled this morning in Eastern Ontario. The Student Transportation of Eastern Ontario says that school buses that cover the Upper Canada District School Board and the Catholic School Board of Eastern Ontario will not be running today, but schools will remain open. Buses are running in Ottawa, but delays can be expected.
This year marks a significant milestone for OC Transpo. 1 year ago, LRT Lines 2 and 4 were launched, expanding train service to the airport and Riverside South. And although it was more than 2 years behind schedule, the numbers show that passengers are taking it. Line 2 has 11 stations from Bayview to Riverside South. Line 4 is the spur to the airport. Students at Carleton say that some of their commutes have been cut in half, and the train is more reliable and on schedule.
I live about 30 minutes away without traffic, so having the train has made the commute so much easier.
I really enjoyed it. It's really good transportation, in my opinion.
Here's some statistics for you. In the first year, there were 4.7 million rides, averaging about 24,000 a day. OC Transpo says the success of the first year of Line 2 and 4 is largely because of lessons learned during the launch of the Confederation Line.
As we wait to learn what's next for Venezuela, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. Members of the Cuban-Canadian coalition say they are grateful to the American administration for arresting former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and are hopeful that the situation could lead to a democratic shift in their country.
That regime needs to go. Like Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
Cuba relies heavily on Venezuelan oil, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common for the island nation.
This apartment in Quebec has been nicknamed the Ice Castle. And why is that? Well, let's have a look. This is the apartment in Three Rivers. A tenant turned the heat off and left the property. The owner of the building assumed that they were trying to cut costs while being out of the home, but the frigid temperatures caused the pipes to burst. Water poured into the apartment and then froze. The ice is about 30 centimeters thick on the kitchen floor. The tenant has not been paying rent for more than 6 months. He was officially evicted on Monday.
5 men are facing drug-related charges after a large-scale operation took place in Westboro. It happened near Richmond Road and Patricia Avenue around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Police had 5 men in their 20s arrested on drug-related charges and outstanding warrants. A car was also seized during the operation. Work is underway to clear the ice from the St. Lawrence Seaway, which has trapped some ships and delayed the seasonal closure. A stretch of the critical shipping route is already covered in ice, particularly around the locks. Now, this is one of 23 ships currently stuck in the seaway due to ice buildup. Yesterday, it made its way through the lock at Iroquois as it heads to Montreal. The seaway was scheduled to close for the season on January 5th, but the cold December weather led to a large amount of ice buildup. Keeping the seaway open into January is rare. It has only been done 9 times since 1959.
An Ottawa snowplow driver is facing charges after a crash with a small SUV in Ottawa's West End. It happened on Fernbank Road at the Blackside Road Monday evening. Ottawa police say that the driver of the snowplow was already under a lifetime driving ban and also had an outstanding warrant with the OPP.
Fans can take one last adventure in the Upside Down.
Writing the last lines that these characters would ever say, it was really hard to do.
But I mean, I remember more than anything just writing in series.
because we're not ready for it to be over yet.
Oh.
You can get a sneak peek into the world of Hawkins. This is the trailer for The Making of Stranger Things Season 5.
Fans will get to see the cast and crew working behind the scenes, including interviews from the Duffer Brothers. The documentary streams January 12th.
And that'll be really cool to get a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look, especially with this crew. You kind of grew up with them if you've watched the
Feels
show
like
from when they
it.
were kids to now full adults.
Right.
And I'm sure there's a lot of cool things on that show.
Yeah, and it's great to get a look behind the scenes and to get into the minds of the Duffer Brothers. They're twins, by the way, and they grew up in the 80s and 90s, and their view and how they created all of this, which is amazing. And by the way, you can listen to our podcast. And earlier, a couple of weeks ago, myself and Matt Demers, we kind of broke apart, deconstructed the Duffer Brothers and their approach to storytelling.
And
nice
I love,
little plug.
I love that. How much thought they put into like, what are their last lines going to be? And it's true, right?
Yeah.
Like there's so much thought that goes into every single little line that they say.
Like, think about it. It's like their baby, a
Yeah.
decade of work. So like those lines that they write are so meaningful to them too, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Well, our forecast today, it's a great one to maybe binge some shows because it's going to be a little messy out today. Temps have warmed up a little bit now this morning. We are sitting at -3 here in the city. It does still feel closer to -8, -9 with that wind chill. And similar across the region, -5 for Pembroke, Kingston, as well as in Brockville, -3 out in Trenton, -4 currently in Montreal. Still seeing some messy weather. So you can see on our radar screen, we're seeing some white and some gray. So that's some snow in the lower lying areas, especially Smiths Falls, seeing some snow to start things off this morning. We will continue to kind of see that messy weather over the next couple of hours this morning, and then it will flip into flurries. So it'll change from light snow to flurries late this morning, and we could still see some freezing drizzle later on this afternoon as well. As temperatures approach that freezing mark, we could see some freezing drizzle. It mainly looks between noon and about 3-4 p.m. when we could see that freezing drizzle. So of course, just in time for your drive home from work. It will then clear up late into the overnight tonight, sunshine for tomorrow, but then we do have wet weather on the way as we head into Friday. Yes, rain on the way, just to go to show you how mild it would be as we come towards the end of the work week. So your recess forecast today, if you are heading to school, of course, we have some fresh snow in the forecast this morning. Temperatures fairly mild throughout your early morning hours. Could see that drizzle though later on this afternoon, and we will reach a high of -2 today, so we'll feel closer to -4. So a very mild day in the forecast for us. Similar temperatures throughout the region, -1 in Kempville, Brockville, 3 for Trenton, 0 in Kingston, -1 along the Seaway for your daytime high, -3 out in the valley. Temperatures still kind of all over the map, but more on the milder side than on the cold side. -5 is the overnight low. The system should clear up overnight. Sunshine on the way for tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud, a high of 2 degrees. Very warm for Friday and through Saturday where we could see some rain. It will go back down below freezing mark, but still quite mild on Sunday with a high of -2. Here's a live look at your time saver traffic and still messy weather. So we are seeing heavier volume. You could see very slow if you're approaching the eastbound 417. It is quite heavy right now. It basically starts in Stittsville and heads all the way downtown. It's heavy from Richmond to Greenbank, moderate backups from Terry Fox to Parkdale. 417 westbound, it's light between Boundary Road and Nicholas, and we do have congestion between Orleans Boulevard and Montreal Road on the 174 westbound.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
One of the best family habits can establish and enjoy is eating together. Aside from promoting bonding and open discussions, family meals also have an impact on health. We're paging Dr. Paul this morning to talk about the importance of eating meals together as a family. Good morning to you, Dr. Paul.
Good morning.
This is a wonderful topic here. We're going to unpack this a little bit more, but before the family even sits down for the meal, is there a way that family can prepare in advance?
Yes. Getting your kids involved in shopping, going to the grocery store, teaching them, good foods versus bad foods, those type of things, but just doing it together and then coming home and involving them in preparing it. Obviously age dependent, helping, prepare the meals, set the table, those type of things are very important in terms of bonding, and they teach kids habits and they teach kids lifelong habits, really. It's really, you're establishing lifelong habits.
I feel like when we're talking about sitting together as a family, having a meal, it almost feels like you're like a throwback to way back. But,
that's right. You know, now with all these hustle and bustle that we're seeing, parents have multiple jobs.
Kids
and,
are kind of overscheduled.
They're overscheduled with
times.
soccer and practice and this and that. So I think that, you know, if you make an attempt, you know, obviously, you know, doing it every day is a great idea, but even 3-4 times a week, if you can muster up the time to do it, is of benefit. We know that eating together three times a week can actually be healthier for kids. In other words, they can eat more. They actually end up eating more vegetables. They're eating up, you know, more healthier foods, and actually do better in school. That's another important one that we've seen. So even 3-4 times a week, if you can do that, because it really bonds them together. And I even tell parents of new babies, as soon as the baby is able to sit in a high chair, bring the baby over to the table and eat together. The baby will eat in the high chair and the, you know, the little tablet.
So you can probably see even families sitting down together to eat a meal together. There may even be better results in the classroom for those kids.
Exactly, exactly. There are. Studies have shown that even 3-4 times a week will benefit them. Obviously, and you know, you can probably imagine why, because the kids can vent out, can talk about things,
relax a little
and
bit.
relax a bit. You know, get their stresses out. Learn from each other. Those type of things, and go to school more relaxed the next day.
Yes.
So I think that's a very important one as well. But again, the other thing too is that we know that eating together as a family reduces the risk of being overweight later on in life. It teaches you good habits.
Good habits. So it's not that sort of mindless eating. Sometimes, you know, if I'm in front of a screen, I'm just,
well, that's
I don't even
thing.
realize I'm eating, right? But maybe it's more purposeful when you're with your family.
It's more purposeful, it's more organized, it embeds a routine, it embeds a trust, it embeds a open discussion, and that's very important. And you're right, going back to the 60s and 70s, and now we're talking about it. But again, even if I'm recognizing today's hustle and bustle and all these things that are out there, we can, if you do it even 3-4 times a week, you're doing very well.
Okay, so Dr. Paul, you're saying even 3-4 times a week, if families can get together, sit down and enjoy a meal together, it will help. What tips do you have for said families to make that happen?
Okay, well, first of all, distractions. No distractions, right? So it has to be kind of like no phones, no screens, turn the TV off. Even adults as well, you know, but parents might be looking at their email and those type of things. So try to make an effort to reduce those distractions. The other thing you can do as well is, again, we said that before, involve the kids in preparing them. And even if it's a rushed meal, there's no reason for it not to be together. You can make a couple of healthy sandwiches and just throw them together, put them together, and you know, have a 15-20 minute meal time together. Again, the distractions, screen time, turn off the TVs, turn off the radios, all that thing. Just make it about the family. And the kids will then get used to that. And at least it gives them a bit of a break. And it gives adults a break too, because we're always on our phone, right?
That's very true. And then you get to sit as a family, enjoy a meal.
Enjoy a meal, but also enjoy the benefits of that meal.
And lots of benefits with that as well. Dr. Paul, thank you so much for stopping by. This has been a wonderful discussion. Love that. Okay, thank you. Okay, coming up, we are learning how to set goals for the new year that we will actually stick to. Imagine that. With the help of a habit change expert, it can all be done. Our guest is standing by in the CTV Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. There she is. We'll be right back after this short break. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam.
It's the first week of January, and many people are riding that New Year wave and setting big resolutions for the year. But statistics show that most resolutions don't always stick. Joining us today to help us keep out of those pitfalls is Katie Fallon-Drew. She is a habit change expert and wellness coach. Good morning to you.
Hi, nice to be back.
It's so great to have you back. As a habit change expert, why do resolutions fail?
We are not working with our brain.
Okay.
So our brain likes to stay comfortable.
Yeah.
And it likes to stay in the same motion. But it don't like change.
Oh.
And so
sense.
what do we do for New Year's resolutions?
Big change.
Dry January, cut all the sugar, go to the gym 3. It's like, and our brain just goes. So you can ride the wave of that New Year kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then in 3 weeks, your brain's like, this is not sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. You're going to help us stick with those resolutions. And you say start with how you want to feel.
So I always say to people, the goal, the outcome-based goal is not good for your brain. So I need to lose weight. I want to get fit, right? Well, your brain needs a quick win every day to keep showing up. And how are you going to get there? Through the daily habits. So you need to pick a new goal. I always say to my clients, pick a goal. Like, how do you want to feel? So if you want to feel energetic, then what can you do today to feel more energetic? That 10-minute walk is going to make you feel more energetic. And then your brain's like, oh, maybe I'll do this again tomorrow.
Okay.
I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, how long does that take? Your brain's like, well, I'm not seeing progress. I'm not doing this anymore.
Okay.
So start with how you want to feel and then reverse engineer. And then pick a couple little habits that you know are going to make you feel a bit more like that.
And to get there, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Tip number 2, you say build daily habits for real life.
So we're in real life, right? And this is what's happening with New Year's resolutions, is everyone's going like, it's this plan A, and when they can't stick to it, kid gets sick, you go on vacation. This is what I see so often. So I always say to people, don't expect to live the life you want if you're not willing to stick to the lifestyle to get you there.
Okay.
So what are the daily habits that you know can fit? If you're a person who's commuting, if you're a working mom, pick the daily habits that are realistic. Then you're not going to hit things that aren't and then feel shame and then give up. So what's going to work and what can you maintain?
I love that. Okay, great. Moving on to tip number 3. Focus on who you're becoming.
Okay, if I have any James Clear Atomic Habit fans out there, I mean, as a habit change expert, I love him. So who do you need to become? If you're someone who's going to stick with healthy habits, you actually have to become someone who prioritizes their health, who's flexible. When you go on vacation, maybe you're not hitting the gym, but maybe you're going for a walk on the beach. Maybe you're not always eating healthy, but you're going to choose 80% of the time to eat healthy. So who do you actually need to become to stick to the habits to live the life you want? Do you need to set boundaries? Do you need more help? Do you need to prioritize your wellness? So that is kind of a little bit theoretical, but really it's who you're stepping into, because this is a long game, not a 0 to 3 months and then I'm stopping it, right? So yeah, who do you need to become? What do you need to prioritize?
I love that. Okay, the last tip you say is start small and build momentum.
So we just said that our brain doesn't like change, right? So it's literally, I always say, treat your brain like a toddler. And so you got to dangle that carrot, like, come on brain, we can do this. So I always say start so small that your goal passes the giggle test.
I love that.
We have to build habits like bricks. So if you start really small, I always say to my clients, if you can't hit this goal for 2 weeks, it's not the right goal. And some people get frustrated. They're like, I want the easy button. I want to change everything all at once. It doesn't work that way. So start small. Pick one thing that you know you can hit. And if you can hit it for a couple weeks, then and only then do you build.
I love that. And the great thing is you can help people too. How can they get a hold of you if they want more help?
So healthyconfidentyou.com. I'm actually running a free masterclass this Friday. I don't often do that, but just to help people learn about this time of year. Or Katie Falundrew on all the socials.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Katie, for joining us today. And hopefully people will be able to stick to those New Year's resolutions this year. Rosie.
Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, Canadian comedian and author Jessica Holmes is in town. There she is. She joins us next hour to talk about how comedy helped her through her mental health journey.
All right, we got your milestone celebrations for today. We are kicking it off with a happy 6th birthday to Sophia, who loves art and swimming. Lots of love from your mom, dad, and your little brother. We got a happy 4th birthday to Austin. Lots of love from your whole family and all your friends. Austin, looking good. If you have a milestone you want to celebrate with us, we would love to have that announcement on air. Celebrate it for kids 13 and under, or 100 or more, or wedding anniversaries 50 years or more. Just email us your Morning Ottawa milestones at ctv.ca, and we will be sure to get that announcement on air. Rosie.
Coming up in the next hour, comedian and author Jessica Holmes joins us to tell us more about her inspiring mental health journey. Plus, we check in on all the amazing new tech being previewed at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. And are you curious about trying a vegan diet? We'll introduce you to a local restaurant that wants to help make it easier. Hey, take a look outside. It's snowing. There's a look through our sky cam. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. It's Wednesday, January 7th.
I lost my dad in October, and we just lost another member of our family. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to put it into words.
The community of Douglas mourns the loss of a historic tavern after a massive fire earlier this week.
A dramatic scene in Westboro after a police chase resulted in 5 arrests Tuesday afternoon.
Thank you, God, for Celine!
Comedian and mental health advocate Jessica Holmes stops by to tell us about how she uses laughter as medicine when it comes to mental health struggles. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning, just after 8 o'clock. Thanks so much for starting your day with us. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
And we're going to start with a tragic story in our news headlines today. The community of Douglas is in mourning after a landmark building has been destroyed in a raging fire. The Douglas Trading Post, formerly the location of the popular Douglas Tavern, went up in flames Monday night and wasn't under control for hours. The Douglas fire chief, who is a member of the family that were former owners of the tavern, says that this one hurts.
I lost my dad in October, and we just lost another member of our family. I don't know how else to say it. It's hard to put it into words. It's not mine anymore, but in part of me it always will be. And to have to make that phone call to Mom and tell her that it's gone. It's she hasn't been here yet, and I hope she doesn't come today. But it's a tough one.
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The owners say that the building was insured, but don't anticipate the payout to cover the cost of rebuilding.
As we wait to learn what's next for Venezuela, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. Members of the Cuban-Canadian coalition say they are grateful to the American administration for arresting former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and are hopeful that the situation could lead to a democratic shift in their home country.
That regime needs to go. Like Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
Cuba relies heavily on Venezuelan oil, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common for the island nation. 5 men are facing drug-related charges after a large-scale operation took place in Westboro. It happened near Richmond Road and Patricia Avenue around 2:30 yesterday afternoon. Police had 5 men in their 20s arrested on drug-related charges and outstanding warrants. A car was also seized during the operation.
Sometimes when the elevator isn't working, you need to get creative.
Ready, set, go.
Wow, this guy skipped the stairs and instead found his own way safely to the ground. Base jumper Danny Roman cleared 139 floors at the world's tallest building in Dubai.
He didn't pull his chute until he dropped about 100 floors. This video was posted by Red Bull with the caption, "Usually jumping off the tallest building in the world," quote, Melissa Lamb.
Oh, yeah, never. I could barely even watch it. Like, I just had to turn away. I'm like, I cannot. Oh man, I am one who, like, even on the 4th floor, doesn't like to look over the balcony to see how far below the ground
right.
is. So I'm out.
That's okay. We're going to go from that. We'll let you debrief, and you can go into what you enjoy, the weather.
And believe it or not, that makes the weather look calm today. Temperatures sitting at -3 right now this morning. It does still feel closer to -8 with that wind chill, so keep that in mind, but much milder day in the forecast for us. A lot of relief from that cold snap that we did see. -4 currently in Kingston, -5 in Brockville, so still could see some light snow. We're seeing some light snow out here in the byword marker right now. You can see these spotty little white patches here on our radar screen. That will continue over the next several hours, and then flurries possible throughout the day ahead. So bit of a gray day for us, not a lot of sunshine. And then later on this afternoon, we could even see some drizzle. So it looks like sometime after noon hour during the drive home is when we could see some freezing drizzle, making, of course, conditions slippery on your drive home later on tonight. We will kind of continue to see lingering drizzle into the evening, maybe some flurries as well, but it will clear up overnight. Tomorrow, we have some sunshine and then rain on Friday. So it's looking like a very soggy day on Friday as temperatures are above that freezing mark towards the end of the work week. So we do have a freezing rain warning still. This is for Kingston area and areas along Belleville. So if you're traveling along the 401 today, just keep that in mind. There is still a freezing rain warning in effect for Kingston and areas down in Belleville along the 401. For us here in Ottawa, we're just expecting some freezing drizzle, but not as much as what they're dealing with down in Kingston. Daytime high today, -2, so a little bit above the norm. Normal at this time of the year is around -6. 3 degrees in Trenton, 0 in Kingston, so very mild temperatures down there. -3 in Petawawa, -2 is the daytime high in Mont Tremblant. Temperatures fluctuating but very mild as we head towards the next 7 days. -2 for today, -5 is the overnight low. Tomorrow, finally some sunshine. We have not seen a lot of sun over the last few days, so it'll be nice to see some sunshine tomorrow. Quite mild, not great news for the canal over the next couple of days. 2 degrees is the high. Rain for Friday and through Saturday, so we could see some soggy conditions as we head towards the end of the work week, but very, very warm conditions Friday and through Saturday. Then Sunday and through Monday, temperatures back down below that freezing mark, but still quite mild for this time of the year. On your drive-in right now, here's a live look at your time saver traffic, and again, still messy driving conditions, and it's been a bit of a slow commute, especially eastbound lanes on the 417 if you're heading in from Canada area. It's been quite slow and quite heavy. Currently, the CARP southbound lane reductions at Westbrook because of a collision, so expect delays. Robertson Road northbound traffic disruptions at Baseline due to a disabled vehicle, so expect delays there. On the Highway 417 eastbound, it's heavy from Richmond to Greenbank and moderate from Terry Fox to Parkdale. 417 westbound, light backups between Boundary Road and Nicholas, and the 174 west, congestion between Orleans Boulevard and Montreal Road this morning.
Thank you, God, for Celine!
Oh my gosh. That is Jessica Holmes killing it, impersonating Celine Dion. And Jessica is here with us today. I mean, that goes way back. Jessica's here with us today talking about an important summit that's coming up here in Ottawa. We're so glad that you're back in Ottawa, born and raised, comedian who's been making people laugh for decades on stage and on TV. And now Jessica is using laughter to make her way through depression and mental health. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. And Rosie and I go way back. Way back in our Toronto days. And I also have to start by saying hi to my sister-in-law, Margot, who's watching. Hello.
Hey, Margot.
But yes, so I started in comedy.
Yeah.
And then about 12 years ago, I recovered from a rather long depression. And I felt like I just need to be able to use my comedy now to sort of bring home a message of it's okay to not be okay. And life is really tough, and finding a way to bring more lightheartedness to the world while also validating the struggles that we go through. You know, people are struggling, and if I can make them laugh and let them know it will be okay. Things do turn out okay. Just make it over the hump.
You know, you started off by talking about how we go way back. I remember interviewing you on a number of occasions. We're talking a long time ago. And then there was that moment when you had to pull back from comedy, from performance. And then what you did after that was really quite remarkable. You wrote a book, Depression, the Comedy. Was that cathartic for you? Talk about writing that book in the process.
For me, it was really cathartic because what comedians do is we take whatever has happened to us and we overshare it in a way that Because for me, when I wrote this book, like when I joke about all the struggles that we face day to day, I'm healing too. Like, right? It's nice for the audience to hear like, oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about. And it's nice for me to be like, you're laughing, you know what I'm talking about too. So it goes both ways. It's really, it was very healing. And that's just the comedian's way.
Yeah, that's how you deal. That's how you cope. That's how you move through it. You're going to be helping some folks at a summit coming up in May. Can you tell us about that?
I'm so excited. May 12th to 14th, it's the Power of Peer Support Conference. And there's been a lot of research around the human connection, just being validated and supported by a peer versus just saying like, okay, I'm here, I do my job, and then on Saturdays I go to therapy. But instead, if you're someone who struggles with substance abuse issues or mental health issues, they have found that just having a peer who knows what you've been through, who knows what you're talking about, to support you through it, having that program in your workplace, oh my gosh, it helps people heal, it helps people to feel human and supported, and that's what we all want.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're going to be a keynote speaker, and you're going to be talking about your own struggles through depression and how you use comedy and inspiring folks. That's happening in May, and if folks want any more information, they can go to powerofpeersupport.ca. Oh, man, I'm so looking forward to this and so happy that you can come on the show and come back to Ottawa and visit us.
I love it. I sleep on my parents' sofa. It's perfect.
This is it.
I love it.
This is it. Jessica Holmes, thank you so much for stopping by, and you and I are going to have a nice long chat for our podcast coming up, and we'll do that, and then we'll have that on the podcast in the next coming weeks. Thank you, Jessica.
Awesome. Thank you, and Cillian says thank you as well.
Oh, can you do a little?
Well, just that I want to tell you, I do this because I defibrillate myself, because my voice is so beautiful, so beautiful. You're welcome.
And you're so beautiful too, Jessica Holmes. Thank you. Will, over to you.
Well, coming up, the 2026 Consumer Electronics Show has kicked off in Las Vegas, showcasing tomorrow's tech today. We'll get the highlights from technology journalist Mark Saltzman coming up after we take a peek outside. So, until you got Skycam, still feeling like winter with some snowfall before the warmth really begins. We'll be right back.
Today's Snow Report brought to you by Some Edelweiss, where happiness falls from the sky.
It does fall from the sky, especially this time of year where we've had some good conditions, especially the last few days with lots of snowfall in the forecast. So when it's snowing and you're thinking about that drive, just remember it is excellent news for all of our ski hills. We're going to focus in on Edelweiss today. New snow just above 3.8 centimeters, closer to 5, maybe a little bit more on the way as we continue through the afternoon. Mont Cascade has a good amount of lifts open. Calabogie Peaks is 100%. Why don't we include Vorlage into that category as well? And hey, Camp Fortune, not bad. 5 for 6. It is a great time to hit the slopes.
JS here again, reminding you where to find the best ski and ride conditions, the best snowmaking, the quickest lifts, and your favorite runs. Come ski with me at Summit Edelweiss.
Well, the 2026 Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, has kicked off in Las Vegas. This is where the world's tech community comes together to see tomorrow's tech today. Joining us is journalist, we have technology journalist, and host of Tech Talk on 580 CFRA, Mark Saltzman. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Will. Great to chat with you. Yes, CES 2026 is underway here in Sin City. Very exciting times. I had a great day on the show floor yesterday. More than 2.6 million square feet of consumer electronics, believe it or not. That's the equivalent of about 45 football fields. So I wanted to share a few highlights with you. Starting with computers, we'll end off with a wallpaper TV, by the way.
I love that. Yeah, let's talk about those futuristic computers.
You got it, for sure. Well, first, imagine having a full 2-monitor office setup you can carry in one hand anywhere. Well, that's the premise behind the Asus ZenBook Duo, the new 2026 edition, featuring 2 14-inch screens that are together into one mobile workspace. And they're stunning 3K OLED touchscreens to boot. This Lumina technology makes colors pop. You can pin a project, to the top of the screen while managing email or video calls on the bottom. So you don't need to switch between windows videos or apps. It's super smart. I see this as the office of the future. And when you want to have a bit of fun, those OLED screens can also turn into a private movie theater with impressive audio as well. It has the latest AI-powered processor, long battery life, and this material on the outside called Ceraluminum, which is super tough ceramics. So the Asus.com has more on that. That's the ZenBook Duo. And speaking of laptops, Intel has had a ton of buzz here at the show with the announcement, the official announcement of the Core Ultra 3 processor, previously codenamed Panther Lake. It puts AI inside the PC itself. So moving away from the cloud somewhat to the computer to help with tasks like real-time translation, photo and video enhancements, and writing assistance, but with better responsiveness and better privacy, since you don't have to be connected to the internet or share your content with external AI agents. The new processors are also up to 50% faster when it comes to graphics, great for games and 4K video editing, while amazingly, they sip rather than gulp electricity. A lot better on energy. Somehow they're able to pull it all off. So a lot of buzz here with geeks like me. Intel.ca has more.
Yeah, well, Mark, you're always our go-to guy for all the changes in technology because it happens so quickly. What about smart home tech? Because there's some big talk about that at the conference as well.
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, yeah, tech, smart home tech is everywhere here at the show. This one is, I found really impressive. The Tapo C645D. It's a kit from TP-Link that's a solar-powered dual-lens outdoor security camera. So it's designed to keep an eye on large areas. It has a fixed 2K ultra-wide lens, 160 degrees, so very wide, and a 2K pan and tilt telephoto lens, which work together to synchronize and provide both panoramic coverage and zoom for smart tracking of people, pets, and vehicles, which is really wild, using AI, not requiring a subscription as well, which is welcome, I'm sure, by many Canadians who would consider something like this. It's weatherproof. It works with a companion app, so you can see what's going on outside of your home, even if you're not there. It's got 2 different night vision modes, one that's got full color with spotlights, or you can opt for a more discreet infrared option that works in complete darkness. 1 hour of sunlight powers the camera for a full day, while the 10,000 milliamp battery lasts up to 4 months per charge. TP-link.ca has more on that. And then I did tease, Will, that I wanted to end off on something wow. Check this out. LG Electronics announced the return of its iconic wallpaper TV. It's the LG OLED Evo W6. Now updated with true wireless technology. So all your inputs are connected to what's called a zero connect box somewhere else in the room. And that receiver then can transfer 4K video and audio wirelessly up to 10 meters away. So you have a nice, clean, minimalist look. The only cable you'll see is the TV plugged into the wall. It's only 9 millimeters thin, making it the world's thinnest true wireless OLED TV that you can really hang on your wall. Plus, it features this latest technology called hyper radiant color, which makes, again, colors pop super bright. The OLED Evo W6 TV is also 3.9 times brighter than conventional OLEDs and 5.6 times more powerful. It is a smart TV after all. So LG.ca has more on that. So as you can see, Will, like I'm a kid in a candy store here, hitting the showroom floor for day 2 in a few hours. It's a little early. As you can see behind me, the sun hasn't yet come up on the Vegas Strip. But yeah, yesterday was quite a day. So just a taste of what's to come in the future.
It's amazing to see the technology move year over year. And I know, Mark, you said you got a little bit of time before everything starts up. So $20 on 19 red for me, and let me know how we do, all right?
You got it. Good luck.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Saltzman, live from Vegas today, our technology expert. We're going to take a peek outside. There, a sky came on George Street, and snowfall is here. Will we get more? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Ottawa Police 2026 Polar Plunge welcomes individuals, organizations, and businesses alike, encouraging those with warm hearts and a bit of courage to get creative and brave the cold. And here to tell us all about the 2026 Polar Plunge, we have Christine Crump, president of Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Ottawa, and Megan Arbuthnot from the Ottawa Police Services. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
We're so excited to have you here and learn more about this event. Give us the details on the Polar Plunge. This sounds like a good time.
It is. So Special Olympics is the charity of choice for law enforcement here in Ontario, and as such we prepare different types of fundraisers throughout the year. Some are for fundraising funds and others as awareness campaigns for Special Olympics, and the Polar Plunge is one of those fundraisers.
And at a great new venue this year. Can you tell us, Hard Rock being the host?
We are being the host this year, first time, and we're going to actually have the opening ceremonies and everything right in Hard Rock Live, so everybody will be warm until we go outside to do the plunge.
Okay,
so we're really excited.
Oh, that sounds like a great time. We know it's a great venue. Give us the details on how the plunge works, because people put some fun into their teams as well.
Yeah, we have teams and we have individuals. A lot of teams have a theme. We've had everything from penguins to different types of inflatables come. It is a really good time for everyone involved. They end up jumping into a bin, not for very long, and we get them out at the end of that. But it is a really good time. It's a great team builder. We have a lot of organizations that are law enforcement participate, but we have a lot of community members, which is important as well.
And I'm seeing lots of smiles. It seems like such a great team building event.
Yes, it is. It's a great event for all these folks to come together. They think of a team, and it's for a good cause, and so they kind of ignore the fact that you're jumping into freezing cold water. Because we're making a ton of money.
And tell us why that's an important cause to help raise funds for.
Last year, Ottawa was able to raise the 4th overall in the province out of 35 plunges. We raised $70,000. So it's a significant amount of money. It goes to the families who have Special Olympic athletes so they can participate in sport, which we know is great for overall health and wellness and mental health. So it really goes directly to the athletes and their families. So we want to raise over $70,000 this year.
We do. Wow.
That's our goal. So we'll see if we can get there, but we need more teams to participate. So.
And Christine, why did the Hard Rock want to participate this year as venue host?
We have a philanthropic arm, Hard Rock Heals, so we really try to become part of the fabric of the community through that, and we are very proud of our first responders in every community that we serve. So that really it's a great opportunity. We actually put a team in last year, and we'll have another team in this year. If you want to join our team, you can. You can be an honorary Hard Rock for the day on the rocks.
I love that.
Polarplunge.ca, or you can put your own team in. So really that's why we're participating this year, and we're excited to showcase the facility.
And lastly, where can people go to register their teams or for more information?
Polarplunge.ca. There's a drop down for locations. Choose Ottawa, and all the information is on there. You can register as an individual or a team, or you can donate there as well. So go to polarplunge.ca for more information.
And will Plungy be there as well?
Plungy will be there, and Plungy's going to plunge, I think, this year.
Oh, Plungy's going to plunge in the cold. Well, thank you all so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having us.
We appreciate you coming in.
Okay.
You're welcome.
One of those moves that you saw right there is what happens after you get out of the cold plunge. I'll be in for sure. If you're thinking about improving your health, helping the environment, or even just saving a few bucks, trying out veganism isn't a bad way to do that. We learn more just ahead. Standing by in Your Morning Ottawa, the Laurier Kitchen. Here's a live look through our sky cam on this snow-filled day with temperatures rising up this afternoon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
In. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Willow Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
We're going to get right to our news headlines. An Eastern Ontario community is grieving after the loss of a structure that once breathed much life into the town. The Douglas Trading Post, which was once the iconic Douglas Tavern, has been ravaged by fire, and the owners say that they're devastated.
It was like watching somebody that you love die. It was a part of us.
The fire call came in Monday evening, and firefighters battled the blaze for hours. There were no injuries, but the community is in mourning.
I looked out my window, and I just seen flames coming out of that window. It scared me, and it was a total shock.
There was a line from Smoke on the Water that resonated with me. They burned down the gambling house, and it died with an awful roar.
The building dates back to the 1880s and was known for its iconic St. Patrick's Day celebrations. The owners say the building was insured, but don't anticipate the payout to cover the cost of rebuilding.
As we wait to learn what's next for Venezuela, Cubans are watching the situation closely, wondering what's in store for their home country. Members of the Cuban-Canadian coalition say they are grateful to the American administration for arresting former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and are hopeful that the situation could lead to a dramatic shift in their home country.
That regime needs to go. Like Cuba, 90% of the population lives on extreme poverty. Right now, if you get a meal per day, you are a very lucky person.
Cuba relies heavily on Venezuelan oil, and rolling blackouts have become increasingly common for the island nation.
This year marks a significant milestone for the OC Transpo. 1 year ago, LRT lines 2 and 4 were launched, expanding the train service to the airport in Riverside South. And although it was a few years behind, the numbers show that passengers are taking it. Line 2 has 11 stations from Bayview to Riverside South. Line 4 is the spur to the airport. And students at Carleton say that some of their commutes have been cut in half, and the train is more reliable and on schedule.
I live about 30 minutes away without traffic, so having the train has made the commute so much easier.
I really enjoyed it. It's really good transportation in my opinion.
In the first year, there were 4.7 million rides, averaging about 24,000 a day. OC Transpo says the success of the first year of Line 2 and 4 is largely because of lessons learned during the launch of the Confederation Line.
This apartment in Quebec has been nicknamed the Ice Castle. Why? Well, this is what it looks like. Yeah, this is the apartment in Trois-Rivières. A tenant turned the heat off and left the property. The owner of the building assumed they were trying to cut costs while being out of the home, but the frigid temperatures caused the pipes to burst. Water poured into the apartment and froze. The ice is about 30 centimeters thick on the kitchen floor. The tenant has not been paying rent for more than 6 months. He was officially evicted on Monday.
A rescued donkey south of the border will soon be a Guinness World Record holder.
Hope the donkey has exceptionally long ears, more than 40 centimeters long. The previous record holder measuring around 35 centimeters.
I love that this is a statistic.
Right.
There's still some paperwork, though, that needs to be done to make it official. But pretty soon, Hope should hold the title.
Long ears. There you go, Hope. You're going to be in the record books.
I love the first person that was like, all right, we got to make this competition.
Yeah.
Just started measuring every donkey's earlobes. All right,
Yeah.
we got 32 over here. We got 33. Just why not?
Why not?
You know what? No, I'm going to go measure. My sister has a donkey. I'm going to go
Oh,
measure
really?
her ear sprinkles.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
Yeah, she has a little donkey named Sprinkles. It's very cute.
And then we'll hit up Tom Green. We know that
Yes.
he's got some. We'll have to
That's
measure
right.
Tom Green's donkey. We got to get him involved.
All over the place.
Everybody with donkeys now going to go measure their ears to see how long they are.
Our new show.
Today's high is -2. The average for this time of the year is -6, so we will be a little bit above average. The sun setting tonight at 4:36 p.m., so we're seeing these longer days. -3 here in the city, still feels like -8 with that wind chill out there this morning. Seeing some sunshine in Brockville, sitting at -4 currently, -3 in Trenton, -4 as well down in Kingston area. Still dealing with this messy weather, so areas down in Kingston, there's actually a freezing rain warning. You could see some purple mixed in with some pink on our satellite radar screen, so they're dealing with freezing rain. It should end within the next few hours. For us here in Ottawa, because it's a little bit colder, we're still dealing with some snow, so we could still see periods of light snow until about 10 a.m. Then it should taper off. Flurries still possible, though, off and on into the afternoon, and then later on this afternoon, sometime after 1 o'clock, we could see some freezing drizzle, and that's as temperatures do warm up. So freezing drizzle likely on the drive home tonight, so making things a little bit messy. Keep that in mind. We will kind of continue to see freezing drizzle mixed in with some flurries into the evening overnight, but it will clear up. Sunshine for tomorrow, and then wet on Friday, so we're expecting rain towards the end of the work week. Temperatures today, -2 is your high. Into the afternoon, we'll feel closer to -4, so very mild temperatures on the way. -3 in Pembroke, 0 for Bancroft, 3 in Trenton, 0 is the daytime high out in Kingston for today, -2 in Kittatinny, as well as over in Montreal. So we will still see fluctuating temperatures, but on the milder side, it will be quite mild over the next few days. -2 for today, -5 is the overnight low. Again, snow till about 10 a.m. Then we are expecting some light flurries and some freezing drizzle. Tomorrow, some sunshine and a high of 2 degrees. A beautiful day for Thursday. Friday, very warm but wet. We're expecting rain into the afternoon. 5 degrees is the high. The weekend, not so bad. Temperatures above that freezing mark for Saturday with a high of 1. Some rain mixed with some wet snow. Flurries on Sunday with a high of -2. Staying quite mild as we head into next week.
Weather brought to you by Yetgendorf Rashid. Experience, knowledge, and a commitment to excellence.
And a note for all of you taking transit this morning, due to a stopped train, LRT line 1S is operating on the eastbound platforms only at Lyon and Pimisi and Bayview. You'll have to change trains at Lyon Station. Traffic still heavy. East to west, you could still see lots of volume. CARP southbound lane reductions at Westbrook due to a collision, so expect delays, and still heavy on the 417 eastbound between Richmond through Greenbank this hour.
Here we are in the Your Morning Ottawa kitchen, and we're talking about keeping it vegan. I've got chef and owner of Keeping It Vegan, Jordan Pett, here with me, and all that we just saw right there, it's vegan.
Everything here is vegan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, you as well.
It's great to have you back on the show, and we're talking about, you know, here we are, the new year. Some folks might say, you know what, I want to try this vegan thing. You know, what's it all about here? So
New Year's,
about
new
that.
things.
Exactly.
Yeah. So specifically in January, there's a thing called Veganuary. So there's a company that started, and it promotes like vegan food, vegan things, and does like a challenge. So it's like it challenges you for the whole month of January to go vegan, to see if you can do it and stuff like that. I brought a bunch of things today to showcase that it doesn't have to be just salad or potatoes or rice.
Right?
Yeah. I also brought a bunch of things because one of the main things that people kind of like, oh, like, what do you do for protein? What do you do for meat? What do you do for... So I brought a bunch of samples of different things to show you that it is possible.
Okay.
You know, like the amount of stuff that the food industry has available for people is vast.
Okay, so vegan means...
Yes.
The definition of vegan is...
Nothing from an animal.
Nothing from an animal.
As my mom likes to say, nothing that walks or squawks.
Nothing that walks or squawks.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I mean, but look at the spread here. I feel like I'm looking at a charcuterie board with some nuts.
Yes.
I mean, but we're,
So just to give you a variety, so I brought 3 things that we make, and then a store-bought sausage. So this is our turkey deli slice.
Okay.
It's seitan based, so it's vital wheat gluten and tofu.
Okay.
And it tastes just like deli turkey. And then we have crispy bacon. We call it fakin because it's fake bacon. It's rice paper based. And then we have a spicy salami.
And what is that made of?
It's also seitan, so vital wheat gluten. And then I make like a really intense like wine-based stock to give that red flavor as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with vegan and vegan meals and vegan prep. Like, when did you start doing that?
I always found it I always found it really fascinating. And my son was born with a dairy allergy, and so it kind of like opened up my world more of like, okay, well, I can't eat these things, so then, you know, I was eating a lot of vegan things.
Yes.
And I started to feel better, so I was like, maybe I shouldn't be eating dairy either.
That's what you're doing. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how this, like, the whole company came about. And I found that the best thing is to just convert what you like.
Convert what you like.
Yeah.
So if people are watching right now and they're like, you know what, I might want to try this. How can they get in touch with you? And how can I try this?
Absolutely, you can try this. So this is a vegan tortilla, and honestly, it is a regular tortilla recipe, and all I did was modify it to use vegan ingredients.
I mean, it looks like a meat pie.
Yeah, exactly. So it uses mushroom and what's called TVP, or textured vegetable protein.
This is nice.
Yeah. So like all the flavors of a classic tortilla, and all I did was swap out the beef for the ground TVP and the mushroom.
What about the crust?
The crust is a house-made like pie dough, and honestly, if you don't use
so flavorful.
Yeah, if you don't use like dairy butter, you can just use like regular butter. Shortening is naturally vegetarian, vegan, and
Very
everything.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, folks want to get in touch with you.
Yes.
Well,
so we have a website, kvbakery.ca. We also have an Eventbrite page, and in this coming year, we have a whole bunch of classes lined up.
January 11th, you got a class?
Yeah, January 11th is like a workshop. We paired with Veg Ottawa.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And they do. It's like an association for the Ottawa vegan community.
Love that. Okay.
Yeah, and so
Nice.
it's an intro. We're going to do kind of extrapolate more on this, more on what it means to be vegan, eating plant-based. We're going to have some treats and coffee. I'm going to give like a mini tour of our space.
Speaking of treats, what do you have right here?
So we have a gluten-free New York-style cheesecake. And it is actually chickpea and cashew based, if you believe it.
Wild.
Yeah.
What about the macarons?
So we have macarons. We have a Reese's peanut butter cup style. Our facility is nut-free, so that one actually uses wow butter, which is like a roasted soy, like peanut butter alternative. And then we have a strawberry matcha and a salted caramel pumpkin.
I love this. Jordan Peck, chef and owner of Keeping It Vegan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for stopping
No
by.
problem.
This is wonderful. And once again, you want to know how to keep it vegan, there are some classes being offered. Just look her up on January 11th, 1 to 3 p.m. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you. I will. I'm loving this. If you know of a great chef or restaurant you think we should feature on Your Morning Ottawa, let us know. Your Morning Ottawa at ctv.ca. It's 8:43. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Got the snow coming down. We'll be right back.
Ask the expert on Your Morning Ottawa. Brought to you in part by CAA Travel Insurance.
All right, it is time to Ask the Expert. Today we have CAA Travel Insurance with us. If you have some questions on an upcoming trip or potentially just some questions in general about travel insurance, you can live call in with questions today, 613-789-6559, extension 2803. Or you can email our wonderful producing crew, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Again, CAA Travel Insurance with us today. And we are joined this morning by Rachel Lalonde from CAA, who is going to be discussing making sure that you are prepared for every trip coming up, whether it's in the future, a past trip that maybe didn't go so well and you have some questions. And I love when you come in because you always give us a little bit of peace and mind for our travels. What do you want to start with today for everyone at home?
Well, just be prepared. Plan ahead. Make sure that you have a backup plan for the weather. You know, when there's nasty weather outside, like today, there's going to be delays. So use the travel apps, the airline apps. You know, it keeps you real-time changes, real-time gate changes, delays, anything like that. Make sure you're prepared. And have that travel insurance. Make sure that you are protected. So if there's any extra cost that's added to your trip because of a delay, then you're protected with the travel insurance.
Okay, so if we're interested in that, in going down the avenue of getting some travel insurance, you know, with CAA Travel Insurance, or just in general to get more of a mindset about it, how do we go about doing it? What's the plan of action from start to finish?
So you're planning your trip, you're talking to your travel consultant, and you're like, okay, it's costing me this much. Ask for the insurance as well. The consultant will tell you that you do need the insurance just to protect your peace of mind. So they'll do a quote for you, you go ahead, you pay it, you got it, you're covered. If you buy your trip and then your insurance at the same time, CAA Travel Insurance has the cancel for any other reason. So if you change your mind, you have a bad hair day, you can get up to 75% back on your trip. If you're sick and you can't travel, you can get 100% back on your trip.
And I think that's really great right now because I'm sure you've experienced this, especially this year. Our family, so many families, the flu season, people had to cancel trips, whether they were flying, train, no matter what they were doing. And that really impacts your travel. So at least having a little bit of peace of mind, like we
Exactly.
talked about, knowing that if that does happen, you're covered. And are you seeing that a lot where people, they'll come to you and be like, oh, like I had to cancel, I didn't have an insurance, and I'm just out all that money?
You're out all that money, and it's an expensive lesson to learn. Definitely. Even the interruption part of it too. You know, you're at the airport, your flight's been canceled, you're stranded in destination. Not so much here, you can drive home just about, but in destination, and you're paying $1,000 for a hotel. Ouch.
Yeah,
that hurts.
because that comes right out of pocket. And you know, for people now going, hey, maybe it's a good idea, it is never too late before your trip.
Never too late. You can always get it. The vacation package plan won't cover you necessarily if you buy the insurance last minute. It won't necessarily cover you for cancellation, but it'll cover you for the emergency medical, the baggage. It'll cover you for trip interruption as well. So it's never too late to get insurance. You always should be protected.
Good to know for that. And especially over the last few days, we've seen a lot of snowfall. People are skiing, they're snowboarding. They just want to put the worries behind them. When it comes to those sports, is there something extra they should be thinking about?
Yes, you can get the high adventure riders added to the travel insurance. It'll protect you either for pre-existing conditions. It can also, pre-existing medical conditions, it can cover you for high-speed activities or air activities as well.
And high-speed activities, even if you're a little slow, you're on the bunny hill, that's still considered high speed at a time, right?
Exactly.
Even if you're pizzaing and French frying, you still want to be as safe as possible. Before we head to break, one last question on this particular topic. If you have multiple trips kind of lined up in the weeks or months to come, is there an opportunity to get a travel kind of bundle where you get one, you don't have to get it every single time, or should you each trip get travel insurance individually?
You can certainly get bundled multi-trip plans. You can. Anywhere from 4-day plans to 60-day plans. There's varying numbers in between there, but you can certainly do it, and you can travel as much as you want within those planned days, and you're covered every single time you go.
I like that line. Travel as much as you want with peace of mind. We're going to talk with Rachel right after the break with more questions on CAA travel insurance. If you have them in, let us know. You can email us, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Rachel's with us for another about 10 minutes or so, so get those questions in. We'll continue the conversation right after the break.
Ask the expert on Your Morning Ottawa. Brought to you in part by CAA Travel Insurance.
That is right. CAA Travel Insurance is with us today. If you have any questions for them on today's segment or potential questions for the future on a trip, you can call them 1-800-267-8713 or their website, insureyourtrip.ca. We got Rachel Alon with us this morning. We're talking about insurance and just having that peace of mind. And I want to talk about some destinations this time of year and what people should be aware of. What are some hot spots? And if you're going to those locations, should you get some insurance and what you should be looking for?
Okay, so of course, you know, the Caribbean, still a very popular place. It's affordable for families. Lots of stuff to do if you're multi-generational. The little kids can play in the sand. The older ones can do the, you know, exotic excursions. There's something for everybody. So the Caribbean, Mexico, Dominican, all of those areas are very, very popular.
And it's always nice just to get that travel insurance, especially if you're with a family and, you know, something does happen. And it's something that can be unplanned. We've talked about this when you come in quite often. It's something that's not even to do with your plane, but maybe something tragic happens at home and you have to regroup. Having that insurance in there can really save you a headache in the future.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And if you're traveling as a family, you can get a family plan too, so it's going to save you even more money. So, you know, the mom and dad and the kids, you get that family plan. It saves you quite a bit of money, and you're protected. You're protected for emergency medical, cancellation, interruption, and your baggage.
Which is always good to know. And we talk about family, and now let's talk about the family packing, okay? So this is something that over the years, it changes. Maybe it gets better, maybe it continues to be terrible, and you're like me back then, you just throw everything in the bag. What are some nice travel tips that you have for us?
So for me, having had, you know, a million kids over the years and you know, learning how to pack efficiently, I still see the families with, you know, 2 kids, 3 kids, and there's like 5 suitcases at the airport, and they're struggling. The kids are crying, kids are screaming. Try and streamline. You know, kids' clothes is small, so use 1 suitcase, but put, you know, 1 kid's clothes in 1 color packing cube and another kid's clothes in another color packing cube, so you know who belongs to who, but everything's packed in 1 suitcase, and it's a lot less for you to trot around when you're at the airport and on the beach and wherever.
Yeah, these tips aren't just for you. They're for the kids, but they're also for you.
Exactly, exactly. So pack light. When you're traveling, you know, that flight is long and it's boring for the kids. So, you know, preload some movies or audiobooks or games or whatever on tablets and whatnot, and have them, you know, play with that on the plane. It keeps them quiet. Pack a surprise. So, you know, something that they've never had before, a new coloring book or something that they haven't experienced before. So it's new. So they're going to take time to enjoy it on the plane. Pack snacks. Pack water. So you can't bring water through security, but bring an empty bottle and fill it after security. At least they're not going to be thirsty and cranky and crying and yelling at you and whatnot. So just, you know, make them happy.
Yeah, and those
makes you happy.
Those little tips too. And water's very expensive at the airport. And I've seen a full WWE wrestling match of kids going on, which can be fun, but then they're running around. So always great to have your tips. And Rachel, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And again, if you want to reach CAA Travel Insurance, there's the website and phone number for you. Always lovely to have Rachel with us, store manager at CAA.
And here's a live look at our Weston Cam this morning, our Sky Cam, and yes, it is gray. We're expecting snow to last over the next few hours. Freezing drizzle later on this afternoon as well. We'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning.